me, Terry of the Yarnjoy podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Movie and Stitch. Okay, so for this week's episode for Movie and Stitch, I actually did a double feature. I had watched the movie I'm up to is my movie that starts with the letter V. And so I watched that one and I did my project for that one that I needed to, did the work on the project. And I just happened to be going through YouTube and there's a channel on there, I can't remember what it's called, but it's YouTube, on here, YouTube, and it's where there's free movies that you can watch. There's ads to them, but you can watch the movies in, its entirety except for the ads. But anyway, so I was just kind of going through and I found a movie that I thought looked interesting, I guess, and so I thought, well, and it starts with the W, and I hadn't picked a W movie yet, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna watch it, and so I did, and I did the work for my W in my project for that movie, and so this is a double feature this week. So for Movie and Stitch, for the letter V, I watched the movie Valiant. I had a kind of a hard time looking for a V movie that I could find that was available for me to watch free or streaming or whatever. But I did find one, and so this movie is on Disney Plus if you have Disney Plus, and so it's a Disney movie, and that means it's animated. But I enjoyed it. It's something I don't think I'd seen it before. A little bit about the movie. It was made in 2005, rated G. It's a short movie. It's only an hour and 16 minutes long. I'm looking on my phone here on imdb.com to get some information about it. So let me read one of the plot summaries here. Okay, it says, at the height of World War II, Valiant, a tiny but brave and utterly common wood pigeon, hungers to do his part by enlisting in the elite Royal Homing Pigeon Service to serve Britain. However, carrying encoded messages across the vast and perilous English Channel is an extremely dangerous job, especially now that the fearsome General von Talon and his deadly squad of falcons patrol the area. Under those circumstances, and also with Mercury, the seasoned dove courier, captured behind enemy lines, it's up to Valiant and his courageous Squad F to save the day. Is Valiant a war hero in the making? So that's a pretty good synopsis, or kind of what the movie's about. And so anyway, I enjoyed it. Like I said, there was lots of voices that I recognized as far as the actors, the voices of the characters. The majority of them were male, just because of the way the movie was. In other words, there was a couple of female parts, but I didn't recognize the voices. I didn't know who they were. And looking at the cast, I still don't know who they are. A lot of these, I believe they're British actors, and so some of them, there's several of them I do recognize, though. But like the main character, Valiant, was voiced by Ewan McGregor, who is Obi-Wan Kenobi from the episodes 1, 2, and 3 for Star Wars, okay? And then Tim Curry was in it, and I do recognize him. He played in the Muppets version of Long John Silver. He played Long John Silver. Let's see, Hugh Laurie, of course, who plays in the role of House. He was in there also. John Cleese was in there, and he is the voice of a lot of animated features, I've noticed. There was even a character in there that was voiced by John Hurt, who was the guy that had the alien pop out of his chest in the Alien movie. So anyway, there was, like I said, there was several people that I recognized their voices. Okay, I enjoyed it. I think I liked it, but I believe, now this is just my thoughts, is that Disney made this movie maybe in competition of the movie Chicken Run, which was by DreamWorks, I think, if I'm right. And so So between the two, I like Chicken Run better. I just feel like this had some funny parts in it, but I think Chicken Run was funnier, and it seemed like the storyline and stuff was more involved. I don't know if that's the word, but anyway, but I did like this, but I think Chicken Run was better. Okay, so what I did is, I'm still working on the Granny Stripe Scrappy Blanket that I've been working on throughout this whole series. So here is, now this is my progress with the V movie and the W movie, okay? So here it is. Oh my goodness, I know I can't hold it all the way up so you can see the bottom, but as you can see, it's getting very big here. So, now I will come forward here, and I will show you the colors that I put in to represent this movie. I'll fold this top one down since that's the W one. Okay, so it was these four right there, okay? And I'm picking 4 colors to represent each movie that I've been watching, and I've been separating them by this charcoal gray single crochet row, as you can see between the sections. Okay, and so the 4 colors I picked out was this gray right there, which was for the color of the pigeons, okay, for their feathers. So actually, this whole thing is the color, my interpretation of the color of Valiant, the main pigeon in the movie. So you have gray for the main feathers, okay? But then right here in his yoke area on his chest, there's 2 different colors, and the bottom part, it made like a V, like a V design. And so the bottom part of it, the outer part of it was not this bright of a violet color. It was more of a pinky purple, and so, but I didn't have exactly that color in a worsted weight, and so I just went with that. Okay, so that's how that came about. And then the inner part of the V, or that top part that went up to his neck, was not quite that color either. It wasn't teal. It was a little more aqua-ish, I think. But this is some more of that Red Heart Super Saver ombre that I have in Scuba. I have just a little, a couple of balls about so big of it, and so I just put that in there to represent the kind of blue in the top of that V on his chest. But like I said, it wasn't quite that color either, so oh well. My interpretation of it. And then the orange up at the top represents his beak, okay? His beak color was about that color, so there you go. So that was my section for Valiant, okay? And Valiant was my movie that starts with the letter V that I watched for Movie and Stitch. Okay, now let's go on to the second part of the double feature. Let me get my notes set up for that, and I'll be back in just a second for you. Okay, so for my W movie, like I said, I was just looking here on YouTube under the, I think I just searched like YouTube free movies or something like that, and so I found a whole bunch of them, and I just scrolled through, and I just happened to land upon this one that started with the W, and I thought, well, it looks interesting. It's got a lot of stars in it that I'm familiar with. Of course, from like when I was a kid, these stars are much older than me, but just from when I was a kid I remember watching Westerns with my dad. He was big on watching Westerns, and so, when in my household there was one TV when I was little, and when my dad was home, the TV, it belonged to him. I mean, it belonged to him, but I remember he was like in control of the TV, and so whatever he wanted to watch, that's what we watched in the evenings. And so we watched a lot of Westerns and war movies and things like, things that he liked. And so I saw this and I thought, oh, it kind of brings back the days of when I would watch movies with my dad, and so I thought, I'll watch it. Anyway, this movie was called The Way West, okay? It was made in 1967. Look at here at imdb.com to get my information here. Yes, it was made in 1967. It was a longer movie. It was 2 hours and 2 minutes long. Not real long, but it was longer than Valiant. Okay, so the description of it says, let me find a good description here. Okay, in the mid-19th century, Senator William Tadlock leads a group of settlers overland in a quest to start a new settlement in the western in Oregon. Okay, so it's like the Oregon Trail type thing. And it says that Tadlock is a highly principled and demanding taskmaster who is as hard on himself as he is on those who have joined the wagon train. And of course he clashes with some of the other men that are on the wagon train, and so they had to go through a lot of hardships and things, and I am sure that in reality it was probably a lot like that, and just the harsh conditions and just the mere length of the journey. And so anyway, I thought it was good. It had a lot of actors in it. Let me read a few of the people in the cast. Okay, so the main character that played that senator, who was the leader of this wagon train, it was Kirk Douglas. Okay, he hired a guide to get them through this terrain in this area, and that was played by Robert Mitchum. Okay, one of the other men that was a strong-willed man in the movie was Richard Widmark. He played one of the men. Now all the women in there, the actresses that played the women parts, I did not recognize any of them except for one, and it was a young girl that was in there, and it was played by Sally Field. I was wondering if maybe this was one of her first movies, or possibly, because she was quite young in this movie. Jack Elam, which was a character actor that I remember seeing him in a lot of movies during this time, when I was a kid. He played in the movie, but it was a very, very small part. You only saw him every once in a while, so he didn't have a big part in it. Let's see. I'm looking through the cast, see if I recognize somebody else to talk about. It says that there was a young boy in there that was played by John Mitchum, which I assume was Robert Mitchum's son, but I don't remember who that was. So yeah, that was the main characters that I actually recognized. That were bigger named actors, I guess, and actresses. Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it just reminded me, it was kind of nostalgic because it reminded me of watching, Westerns with my dad when I was a kid. And like I said, I'm sure this was a fictional type story, but I'm sure a lot of these incidences could have been based on real experiences. So I really enjoyed it. I did. There was some sad parts to it, because of the trials and the rough times that they had to experience and go through. But there was some happy times too. So anyway, I enjoyed it. So here is my blanket again. I did work on it, okay, during that time, and here is the section, this top section now that I'll show you that I did for this movie. Now the 4 colors I picked out, all these represented the different types of terrains and the harshness that they had to travel through, I guess you'd say. And so the green, of course, was the trees and things that was more foresty type that they traveled through right in the beginning, because they started like, I want to say Tennessee or some state around that area. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyway, so the green was for the trees and the forests, okay? And then they went through an area, I'm not sure where that was, unless it was Death Valley. No, I don't know, because they were heading toward Oregon. But anyway, there was an area that was like a desert, okay? And they like ran out of water and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's what this yellowish color is representing, okay? And then the blue was, of course, the rivers, and of course the big sky that, you know, that they were underneath because of all the open area, but also for rivers that they had to cross. And then they even had to get through part of not really a mountainous, but it was like a high altitude area because they were going through some snow in this certain area. So that's what the white is for. Okay, so that is my 2 sections for V and W. So I got a pretty good amount, you know, a jump in length for my project. So, oh my goodness, look at this. Like I said, I can't hold it all up. It's just too long because it's 4 rows for each movie, and it's from A to W through the alphabet. So I have only got X, Y, and Z left. Oh my goodness. So 3 movies left. I should be done a little bit sooner than that, because not doing this double feature, it was going to take me to like the last week of this calendar year. And so now that I did a double feature, it brought me up a week. So that's probably good. So that way I'll have that extra week there to do like the side borders and stuff like that to get it finished off, I'm thinking. Now, like I said, I have X, Y, and Z, so it depends on what's going on as far as if I double up on any of the remaining movies. It depends on if I have the time to do that. We'll see how the schedule goes. But I am definitely planning to do Vlogmas and planning out some stuff for that. So we'll see if I double up on any of the remaining letters to get it finished a little sooner. We'll see. But I'm excited to see it finished. It's been a fun year-long project, and but I'm ready to see it finished so I can move on to other things. Okay, so for my X movie, I've already got it. I purchased this on DVD, and it's been sitting just waiting for me to watch it, and so now I can watch it. And so for my X movie, I'm gonna watch Xanadu. I did watch this when I was a kid, you know, well, teenager. I guess it came out in the 80s. Haven't looked on the box, but I'm assuming it came out in the 80s, right? Had to be. And so I was a teenager during that time. And so I definitely remember this movie, but it's been ages since I've watched it, and at the time I couldn't find it when I was thinking of letters through the alphabet to watch. I couldn't find it on DVD, I mean, you know, on streaming anywhere, and so I just found it on DVD. It wasn't very expensive, so I thought, oh, I'll just order it, and so I did, and so I've had it for a while, and I can't wait to be able to watch it. Okay, so that is the movie I'm going to be watching for letter X. For letter Y, I'm not sure yet. For letter Z, I do know what I'm going to watch for that one. So, anyway. Okay, I'm going to go. I need to go and I'm going to babysit my grandbaby for just a little while this morning. This is in the morning on Wednesday when I'm filming this. But I wanted to get it filmed, and once I get back from babysitting, then I will be editing this and then uploading it. And so for you watching it, if you watched it the day it came out, watching this the day it came out, it'll be in the evening. But I am filming it in the morning. I don't know what the lighting is like. It's very cloudy because it's supposed to be a rainy day today, and then right after lunch there's supposed to be a cold front come in, and so it's gonna drop down the temperatures a bit. So that'll be a nice refreshing time, because we're still having like temperatures in the 80s to upper 80s, close to 90, you know, so that's Fahrenheit. And so it'll be a nice change for a couple of days. I think tomorrow is supposed to be, the high is supposed to be 56, and so that is definitely the coldest day of this season so far. It will be. Okay, I'm gonna go. So come back tomorrow. We'll do the regular episode of Yarnjoy podcast, and you can see, oh, I've got some FOs. I got some finished objects to show you, so I'm excited that I've gotten a few things cleared out. So excited to show you what those things are. So come back tomorrow and you'll see. So I'll talk to you later, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.